press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hi dear students, well in the previous session we have started that lesson that is to my countrymen. We have talked about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as well as his book Ignited Minds. Alright, so this lesson, it is an extract taken from his book Ignited Minds. In the first paragraph of the lesson, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he has talked about the power of imagination. He tells the power of imagination, it is the important part of life, it is the substance of life, it is the power, it makes us to attract towards the thing what we most desire. And he imagines, he dreams, he had a great vision that within 20 years our country, he wants to see our country into as a literate India, a literate and poverty free India. See, in the previous class I have told one of the students has asked him who is the biggest enemy of our country, then he told that is poverty. Then he told that poverty is the biggest enemy of our country. Yes, of course. When there is a poverty, there will be an increase in the cruelties. There will be increase in the thieves, robbers, in the cruelties such as robbery, dacoits, thieves and murders. Many more social evils will increase when there is a poverty. If there is no poverty, if we want to eradicate poverty from our country, means what we have to do? We have to, there should be a lot of employment opportunities to everyone. When everyone is having good employment opportunities, when everyone is having an employment to earn, then there will be no cruelties like this, then there will be no poverty. When there are when our country will be filled with literate people, then all these things will reduce and our country will move towards the path of development. So he is thinking about the development. Development means in terms of education, finance, science and technology, as well as healthcare. In all these sectors, these vital factors influence, these vital factors make one country into a developed nation. When there is a development in all these sectors, our country will term as a developed nation. So he has talked about three things. What he said, I dream of an India within 20 years. He wants to see literate and poverty free India. He dreams of a system where our country should be governed by the noble leaders. He dreams of a system, scientists and technologists, they should focus on the specific, very particular goal they should keep and they should work towards that. Those missions should be related to the common man. And at last, he puts a question, then how come these dreams will be fulfilled? How can we make all these dreams to come true? Okay, so we ended the previous class with that same question, and here is the question. Dear learner, how can Dr. Abdul Kalam's dream be realized? So here he is asking question. Okay, so the next paragraph, the whole paragraph is telling about the unity. Unity is strength, we say. If there is a unity, then we can achieve everything. We can achieve every difficult task. So first of all, our power of imagination should be very strong. We should have a great vision and we should work towards that. If we want to fulfill our dreams, we should be united. So here, look at the next paragraph. Okay. We need to realize that missions are always bigger than organizations, just as organizations are always bigger than the individuals who run them. Missions need effort and the mind provides the purpose. So in this way, consider which department or ministry will take man to Mars and build a habitat there. Can 200,000 megawatts of electric power be generated by isolated efforts in thermal, hydroelectric, nuclear and non-conventional sectors without an integrated effort? Can the second green revolution happen without agricultural scientists, biotechnologists and irrigation experts working together? Without proper diagnostic facilities and clinics and affordable drugs reaching our masses, our biotechnology laboratories and medical councils will continue to perpetuate each other's survival without serving the purpose of their existence. To set in place the most advanced medical facilities and make these available to the people at reasonable prices. See, here in the whole paragraph, Abdul Kalam ji, he is telling about the unity only. Unity is the strength, right? Here, the first in the first two lines, Abdul Kalam, he is talking about the three things. Those three things are missions, organizations and individuals. Okay, so first of all, we have to realize that missions are always bigger than organization. So mission means you should know, mission means a particular assignment, aim, goal, okay, guri, deya, okay. Example, we can take one organization. Example, we can take our school itself is one organization, okay, but behind that there is a great mission, guri, deya, okay. Missions are always bigger than organization. If we have a mission, we can establish any organization. First of all, we should possess one mission. We should have a great aim. We should have a great vision, because our missions are always bigger than organization. Just like organizations are bigger than individuals. So here I am one individual, I am working here. This big organization, it is bigger than me. Organization, it is bigger than individuals, but missions are always bigger than organization. Because of this mission only, organization will come into existence. Example, we can take any one of the multinational company, any Infosys, okay. Infosys is one organization, but that organization, behind that there was a mission to start that. Narayan Murthy sir is there. His mission, it is bigger than Infosys, and Infosys is bigger than any one individual who is working there. Is that clear? So here Abdul Kalam, he is telling like that, we need to realize that missions are always bigger than organizations. Because of the mission only, we can establish any big organization. So first of all, there should be a mission in our life. We should have a particular aim, goal in our life. ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಗುರಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. Okay, so just as organizations are always bigger than the individuals who run them, missions need effort and the mind provides the purpose. Yes, of course, if you are having a mission, you should put effort to that. Effort means prayatna. Without effort, we can't do anything. So you can't sit quiet. I have a mission, I have a great aim, I have a great goal. You can't sit quiet. If you sit quiet means you can't achieve anything. What you have to do? You have to put effort, and your mind, it provides the purpose. Your mind will provide the thing what you want. So that only in the beginning, Abdul Kalam, he has told about the power of imagination. We have to think big. Our mission, our vision should be very big, because missions are always bigger than organizations. Okay, so in this way, consider which department or ministry will take man to Mars and build a habitat there. A very fine example here he is giving. Habitat means Habitat means living place. Okay, so here we all know that from NASA, many scientists and technologists, they are trying to they are launching satellites and they are trying to make a space in Mars. They are trying to create a living place. They are trying to see that whether there is a oxygen or water in earth. On the earth, what we feel very suitable. Earth is the suitable place to survive. In the same way, scientists are thinking about Mars and they are trying to build a habitat on Mars. Is that clear? So from NASA, they are trying very hard and they have succeeded in their many of the attempts. Here Abdul Kalam ji, he is asking, can any single ministry or department is that able to send a man to Mars? If a person, if we want to send a man to Mars, what we have to do? Every ministry, every department should work together. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಮಂಗಳ ಗ್ರಹಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So here our PM can't say, see, I have money, I will provide you finance, you can go to Mars. No, he couldn't, right? Only when every department and every ministry, from D-grade workers to the software engineers, from the scientists, technologists, everyone, hardware engineers, even electricians, everyone should unite, everyone should work together, then only we can send a man to Mars and we can build a habitat there. See, observe the example here. Abdul Kalam ji, he is asking us, what it is? So in this way, consider which department or ministry will take man to Mars. Is that possible to send a man to Mars with the help of any one single ministry? Finance minister, if he say, yeah, I am ready to give you finance, go to Mars. No, it is not possible. If we have to send a man to Mars, means if we have to build a habitat there, means everyone should work together. This is one example. And the second example is, can 200,000 megawatts of electric power be generated by isolated efforts in thermal, hydroelectric, nuclear and non-conventional sectors without an integrated effort? So observe the two words there, isolated and integrated. Isolated means very single or individual. Isolated means individual. Integrated means group. Integrate, group or collective or teamwork. Okay, so here the second thing is, can 200,000 megawatts of power will be generated with an isolated effort of any one single energy? Here is the question. If we want to produce that much of electricity, means every energy we have to utilize all these energies. Example, you can take the production of electricity in Shivanasamudra example. So here Abdul Kalam ji's question is that possible to produce 200,000 megawatts of electricity with the isolated effort of any one single energy? We can't say using only thermal energy we can produce this much of electricity. I will use only a hydroelectric power and I will produce this. Nuclear energy? No, we can't. If we utilize all these energies, all these powers integrated, if these all things, if we use all these, means we can generate this much of electricity. Okay, so the next thing is, can the second green revolution happen without agricultural scientists, biotechnologists and irrigation experts working together? So is that possible to make the second green revolution without the help of agricultural scientists, biotechnologists and irrigation experts? Yes, if we want to make green revolution, everyone should collaborate there, everyone should integrate there. Farmers, land, irrigation experts, biotechnologists, lab technicians, and also whom and the irrigation experts. So first of all, I will clear you. Green revolution, Hasiru Kranti. What does it mean? Yes. See, M.S. Swaminathan, the great scientist, the great Indian scientist, M.S. Swaminathan, he is the father of Green Revolution. He had given a great start to this revolution. He wanted to make a revolution in the field of agriculture. Means at that time, during the 1960s and 1970s, the first green revolution, it was led by M.S. Swaminathan. Green revolution, no, it refers to a period in India when agriculture was converted into an industrial system. What does it mean? Green revolution, no, it means it is the thing which made a change in the field of agriculture. Agriculture was converted into an industrial system due to the adoption of modern methods. So at that time, what they did? They adopted modern methods because they wanted to increase the production of crops, high yielding of crops. What they wanted? M.S. Swaminathan, he made a revolution in the field of agriculture. He converted agriculture into an industrial system and he adopted many modern methods such as high yielding variety crops, many modern methods and technology like irrigation facilities, tractors, pesticides, fertilizers. So as a result, what had happened is there is a lot of increase in the food grain production. When the first green revolution it was made, no, as a result there is a lot of increase in the production of food grains, especially in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. There is a lot of change in the production of wheat. In the production of wheat, there is a lot of increase, and finally it proved to be a very useful measure. And people, what they wanted is they wanted to produce their own crops. They wanted to produce their own crops independently instead of depending on foreign exports. So this is what about Green Revolution. The first Green Revolution, it was made in the year 1966, I think so, and it was led by M.S. Swaminathan. He is the father of a Green Revolution. Green Revolution was meant to make a revolution in the field of agriculture. At that time, what happened? Agriculture was turned into an industrial system. They adopted many modern methods and technologies and high yielding variety of crops. Increase in the production of crops, use of tractors, then pesticides, fertilizers, irrigation facilities. As a result, what happened? It was really a very useful measure taken by M.S. Swaminathan, and it proved to be a very useful thing, and there was a lot of progress in the field of agriculture. So here Abdul Kalam, he is telling that is it possible to make a green revolution without an integrated effort of all the people? So here a farmer can't say, I have a land, you can make green revolution. No. So if we want to make second green revolution, means what we need an integrated effort of all people like irrigation experts, biotechnologists, lab technicians, and also agricultural scientists like that. And the next thing is, so here till this Abdul Kalam, he has talked about the unity. If there is unity, then we can achieve anything. If there is no unity, means we can't make this much of great work with the help of any one individual. We can't send a man to Mars with the help of single ministry. We can't produce 200,000 megawatts of electricity with the help of any one single energy. We can't make second green revolution with the help of any one single individual. In the same way, Abdul Kalam, he is telling, if we have to make our country into a developed nation, in our country what we have to do, we have to integrate, we have to unite, we should do the work unitedly. Example, we can take our honorable prime minister Narendra Modi ji. He had a lot of missions. One of the very famous mission is Swachh Bharat. If he only say about that, if he had implemented that, right, he implemented that, the main thing what we have to do, we have to follow it. That is what we have to integrate, and we have to work towards that. Then only we can make our Bharat as Swachh Bharat. In the same way, here, if we have to fulfill the greatest missions, the visions, we need an integrated effort. This is what all the three examples it refers. Without proper diagnostic facilities in clinics and affordable drugs reaching our masses, our biotechnology laboratories and medical councils will continue to perpetuate each other's survival without serving the purpose of their existence. So observe the three new words there: affordable and perpetuate. Affordable means having enough money to buy, means reasonable. Okay, affordable means having enough money. Perpetuate means to survive or to exist. You can take, or you can take as to continue to exist. To continue to exist. So here Abdul Kalam ji, he is telling, without proper diagnostic facilities in clinics. So in our country, many of the clinics, many of the medical councils, many biotechnology labs, they are working together, even though many people, they are not getting affordable drugs. Drug means medicine. Affordable drugs. Drugs means medicine. Even though biotechnology labs and medical councils, they are continuing, they are working together, even though many people are not getting the medicines at the reasonable cost. Example, poor people, they can't buy the medicines. Is that so? So here Abdul Kalam ji, he is talking in the terms of development, everything is needed. Health is really very, very important. So here, even though biotechnology laboratories and medical councils, the laboratories means they will prepare the medicine, and medical council, what they give, they will certify this is this medicine, it is for this disease, and this is this much of mg, 500 mg, 1000 mg, like that, no? Here he is telling that without proper diagnostic, many people, they are not getting proper diagnosis in our country. They are moving towards some other places, even though they are not getting proper diagnosis facilities in the clinics, and the poor people, they are not getting affordable, reasonable, affordable drugs. They are not getting the medicines at the reasonable prices. And the work, who are doing this work, the work, biotechnology labs and medical councils, they have to do this work properly without serving their purpose. What they are doing, they are continuing their life without serving their purpose of their existence. See, biotechnology labs ಮತ್ತೆ medical councils ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಆದರೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ನೋಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಡಯಾಗ್ನೋಸಿಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ರೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಮದ್ದು, ಈ ರೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಥ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೂ ಆ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾದ ಬೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಯಾವುದು? ಬಯೋಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಲಾಬ್ಸು, ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ಸು. ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಅವ್ರ ಕೆಲಸನ, ಅವ್ರ ಉದ್ದೇಶನ ನೆರವೇರಿಸ್ದೇನೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಯಾವ? ಬಯೋಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ಸ್. To certain place the most advanced medical facilities and make these available to the people at reasonable prices. So first of all, what the work should happen here, we have to set in place all these facilities to all the people at reasonable prices. I have told you in the beginning, Abdul Kalam, he is talking about the development. In terms of development, what we have to do, we have to improve every sector. What? In terms of education, we have to increase the rate of literacy. There should be no poverty. There should be good health and medical facilities. There should be an improvement in science and technology. Right? So here Abdul Kalam, he has told about the health care. Okay? Next paragraph. I have dwelt upon my own experiences that made me aware of the energy field which is created by a vision. So here he is talking about vision. See, observe the word vision there. Vision means drushtikona. Okay, so here one more word is there. Observe that. Dwelt upon. Dwelt upon means to think or to deal, to think. What it is? Dwelt upon. Dwelt upon. Talk or thought. I thought about my own experiences which is created by a vision. Vision means drushtikona. One should have a perfect vision, then only one can succeed in his life. See here Abdul Kalam ji, he is talking about his own experience because he has worked in the energy field which is created by his vision. He has a great vision, he has a perfect vision, so that only he succeeded. Right? It is a power that arises from deep within you. This power is the basis for the movement towards excellence we saw at the time of independence. So if we have that power, it can arise deep from within us. You should have a perfect vision. That vision will arise you. If you want to prove yourself, you should have a perfect vision. This vision, it is the basis during at the time of pre-independence. See, observe here. We move towards the excellence when at the pre-independence India, everyone worked together, everyone integrated their vision. They shared only one vision, that is, we should get independence. The same vision, it was shared by the entire nation, so that only we moved towards the excellence during, we saw at the time of independence. So ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಹೋರಾಟದಲ್ಲಿ, ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಚಳುವಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈ ಪವರ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ವಿಷನ್, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು? ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಡೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆದ್ವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಎಲ್ಲರ ವಿಷನ್ನು, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮಿಷನ್ನು ಒಂದೇ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ವೆನ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ಸ್ ವಿಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಿಷನ್ ಬೋತ್ ಆರ್ ಸೇಮ್, we will work together, we will succeed. Okay, so here Abdul Kalam, what he has talked about the power of vision. Vision means what it is? An idea or mental thinking. Drushtikona. Example, if you are having a mission, you should have a great vision what I have to do. ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗುರಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ನೋಡಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನನಗೆ ಈ ಗುರಿ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಯಾವ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಯಶಸ್ಸು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. And finally he has given one best example. At the time of independence, this power, it has become the basis, and we move towards the excellence because of this power. Which power? Vision. The same vision we have shared in the entire nation. So ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಚಳುವಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಒಂದೇ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಯಶಸ್ಸಿನ ಕಡೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಸಾಗಿದ್ವಿ. Pre-independence reverberated, sorry, I skipped one line there. I have been touched by this power on many occasions while facing a challenge. Even I have faced many challenges. During that time, I have met this power. I thought that I have experienced that vision is very important while facing the challenges. ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲೂ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ನ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಈ ವಿಷನ್ನ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Pre-independence India reverberated with it. It helped us humble a mighty empire. So pre-independence India reverberated. Reverberated means echoed. Reverberate means echo. Humble means, observe the word humble there. Humble means low earth. Mighty means very strong. At that time, which was the mighty empire, British Empire, it was very strong, and at that time, this power, it helped us. Vision, our perfect vision helped us to humble that mighty empire called British. ಆ ಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದೇ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಒಂದೇ ಆಗಿದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಸೊಕ್ಕು ಮುರಿದು ನಾವು ಹೊರಗೆ ಹಾಕುವಲ್ಲಿ ಯಶಸ್ವಿ ಆದ್ವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ? ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಒಂದೇ ಇತ್ತು. Observe the sentence there. Pre-independence India reverberated with it. With what? With the same vision. Our India, pre-independence India echoed with the same vision. Because of that, we lowered that mighty empire. So, ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಪೂರ್ವ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಒಂದೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ಆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಸೊಕ್ಕು ಮುರಿದು ನಾವು ಹೊರಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ವಿ. ಯಾವುದರ ಹೆಲ್ಪಿಂದ, ಯಾವುದರ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ? ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನ ಒಂದೇ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ಗುರಿ ಒಂದೇ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಏನು? ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. In the same way, Abdul Kalam ji, he is talking here how we work together for independence. And the pre-independence India, we work together. Our vision and mission, it is same, that to get the freedom, to get the independence. In the same way, nowadays there is a need of unity, there is a need of integration. We have to work together. How we have to work? We need an integrated work to make our country into a developed nation. Even if Abdul Kalam ji, he is talking about developed nation, means our nation won't become only into a developed nation. What has to happen here? Everyone's mission should be developed nation. Then only we can make our country into a developed. Okay. So till this we will stop. Don't get confused. You read on. You listen to the class twice or thrice, look at the textbook, then only you can understand the lesson. Okay, very informative it is, very useful. It is conveying us a strong message. Is that clear? Let us meet in the next class. Thank you.